Hi, my name is Johan Magnusson and I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming you on board this ride toward becoming a postdoc at SCDI, the Swedish Center for Digital Innovation. I work at the Gothenburg node, so the node placed in Gothenburg on the west coast of Sweden. And I'd like to give you a short introduction to why I think that you should apply to Gothenburg, why you should want to strive to become part of this environment here. Right? So let me first start by talking a little bit about Gothenburg. I first came to Gothenburg in 2002 after a very sort of tumultuous life living in multiple places all over the globe and here in Sweden. And I can tell you it's by far the best place I've lived so far. It is this fantastic port city, beautifully placed, right on the coast, close to the archipelago, close to the forests and all the fantastic greenery of the surrounding landscapes. And it's a port city, right? So it's open to new ideas. People here are open and friendly. You will always be able to speak to somebody if you walk down the street or if you are sitting in a cafe or in a pub or something like that. It's a wonderfully friendly environment to be a resident in. And in Gothenburg, we also have this Lindholmen Science Park. So that would be like the tech mecca of this region. And Gothenburg is pretty well known for being sort of an industrial hub in Sweden. Right? So this is where all the organizations within manufacturing work place. So Volvo, Saab, SKF, etc., etc. So manufacturing hub. That means that there's a lot of organizations sort of circulating around those organizations. And as they increasingly turn to digital, this creates a wonderful environment to do research on or be an entrepreneur within the digital sphere. So Lindholmen is this response to it. It is a cluster where they've created sort of collaborations by placing them close together, by placing these organizations like Ericsson, like Zenuity within autonomous driving, like Volvo, like etc., etc. So a bunch of these interesting organizations are all placed here. And our facilities is right in the middle of Lindholmen. Right? So when you go out for lunch, you sit by the docks and you eat your lunch together with all of these wonderful professionals. So networking is really easy at Lindholmen. Gothenburg is also one of the 10 coolest places to live or stay, according to Guardian, right? So in terms of going out for a drink, I would absolutely recommend the region related to the Långgatorna here. There are multiple avenues for you to find new friends and find new accomplices, I was going to say. All right? So, enough said about Gothenburg and about Lindholmen. So what also is sort of special about this area and about the type of research that we do is the close industry collaboration. And I know that this is something that basically everybody says, but here we actually have warrant for our claim, right? When we work with organizations, we work intricately with them. Like some of us work with clinical inquiry as an approach. So we get approached by the companies themselves asking us to help them out with something. They open the books, they open everything. They give us access to huge amounts of data, internal data, user data, etc., etc. So we can work really closely together with them in finding what we find relevant and what they find relevant. Right? So this is just a short overview of some of the organizations that we continually work with. And you'll find the mix here, from pharma to manufacturing, to retail, to public service or public services. The whole spread is here. And this closeness is what I enjoy the most. Right? So we have a long tradition of being close to industry. And I think that that's also mirrored in our publications. In terms of the postdoc program, the Wallenberg-funded program that we are so psyched to get started with. We've devised that in a manner where we have 3 different areas, right? Each area will have a PI from all of the 3 involved institutions. So Gothenburg University, Umeå University, and Stockholm School of Economics. And the 3 areas that we've sort of identified as being of relevance to us is that of digital transformation, digital government, and algorithmic work, or the business implications of AI. Right? This is what we hope that the new postdocs will work with, or at least related to these areas to some extent. Right? And if we look at this from the greater picture, then the Swedish Center for Digital Innovation is of course comprised of a lot of other individuals than just the PIs. There are about 50 associated researchers right now to the Swedish Center for Digital Innovation, coupled into these 3 academic institutions, the 3 nodes of SCDI as we call it. What we want with the postdoc program is that this is going to be a fantastic experience for the postdoc themselves, of course, but then that these postdocs will also involve integration between the different nodes, making it possible to collaborate, finding avenues or finding bridges between what the excellent research that is done at Stockholm School of Economics, at Umeå University, and Gothenburg University. So that's our hope and aspiration with this program, that the new postdocs, they won't simply be at one node. They will have their home there, absolutely. But we absolutely also hope that they will start collaborating with the other excellent researchers within SCDI, creating synergies out of 3 pretty separated nodes as it is right now. When we think about the postdoc experience and the postdoc process, we want you guys to feel that, well, we are completely on board with this being your process, right? What's good for us is that you can find an environment where you can flourish, where your intellectual endeavors will actually reap fruit, where you can actually grow. And part of that will be working on your existing pipeline, right? You've conducted fantastic research in the past, otherwise you wouldn't even be here, right? So all of that fantastic research in the past, that might be something that you're currently working on for an FD50 contribution, or a basket of 8 contribution, some sort of a journal publication, right? That's going to be the sort of epiphany of your current research endeavors. That's something that we absolutely want you to be able to do, right? Because from your perspective, the whole idea of the postdoc program is in part to cater to you being recruited in the future, right? You finding an academic home, you finding a tenured position somewhere. That requires publications, and we know that. So we hope that you will be able to continue working on, or that you have a pipeline that you can continue working on. So that's the first part of it. But then we also want to integrate you into the new projects, or the existing projects that we have ongoing. Right? Maybe there are some projects that are more relevant for you than others. Maybe there are certain projects where you feel that, all right, if we can just sort of skew this towards this direction, then that would be perfect for me. Absolutely. That's what we're looking for. So hopefully, at the end of this 2-year period, you'll have a bunch of publications from your previous endeavors, and you'll have a bunch of publications from your new endeavors and the new projects that we run within SCDI. And thankfully, there is an abundance of those projects. Our associates are extremely creative in creating new projects, so there will always be something interesting to work on. So if we think about the road ahead, then I really hope that you will consider submitting an application for becoming part of our faculty, for becoming a postdoc. Not only in SCDI in general, but more opportunistic from my side, part of the Gothenburg node, right? I would like you to come here, of course, right? So think about where you want to make your contribution. Is that within digital government or within digital transformation or within algorithmic work or the business implications of AI? Or is it someplace else, right? Maybe you'll find a mix of two of these, right? That's the first thing that I would urge you guys to think about. The second thing I would urge you to think about is, well, what from the other nodes would be interesting to you? Are there other researchers that you followed through the past couple of years that you would like to become friends with, that you would like to become colleagues with, that you would like to initiate a project together with, right? And if those guys would be interested in that, then that may be the best thing that could ever happen, right? So that we get these synergies, so that we get these new opportunities emerging from working together. The next step of this will be that we call to interviews, right? So the deadline for applications is, as it reads right now, last of March. And hopefully after that, you'll get a call back. And hopefully after that, we are going to conduct external reviews. And the external reviews are going to function as a way of us sort of reaching out to senior peers in our network and asking to get their feedback on what they think would be the right sort of setup for the candidates that we have decided that we would like to pursue a collaboration with. So hopefully this is going to be an interesting process. And please, if there's anything that you wonder about, be that the SCDI or the environment here in Gothenburg, don't hesitate. Just reach out a hand and I'll answer all your questions accordingly. So best of luck with the application and fingers crossed that I'll be able to greet you as a future colleague here in Gothenburg. Thank you.